Hello everyone, it's Grandpa Hickory in Texas saying hello to all. Welcome to my video. I wanted to talk today about when Daddy was here. My daddy was a very special man. He was with George S. Patton in World War II. He fought in Africa, all through the African theater, and then they went to Europe. They fought all the way across Europe, all the way to Berlin. My daddy was blown out of 3 tanks. My daddy was right behind George S. Patton's Jeep that had a siren on that Jeep. Some people call it a siren. I always call it a siren, but people back in the 1950s, country boys, they called it a siren. But anyway, my dad was blown out of 3 tanks. My dad was on top of the tank. He fired a .50 caliber machine gun. And my daddy had a lot of Purple Hearts. He went through a very horrible war. They truly were the greatest generation. And my hat is literally off to every one of them that fought in World War II. All the women that were involved, the nurses, the medical teams, the WAC, all of those people. Listen, they had women that actually taxied airplanes out of the factory and then flew them to the bases for the fighter pilots to step into the P-51s, etc., and take off to fight the German Luftwaffe. I'm going to tell you something, people. They were so different than the people nowadays. When my daddy was here, I was happy. My daddy used to call me Joe Boy. He'd say, "Come a-hopping, Joe Boy. Come a-hopping, Joe Boy." We had our fishing poles. We were going down to do some fishing. We always bank fished. My daddy taught me everything I know. And he called me, Joseph. You remember the story of Joseph in the Bible? His daddy loved him so much that he made him a coat of many colors. Well, that's what my daddy meant when he called me Joseph. He'd say, "Hey, Joseph, come on, let's go. Let's go fishing." Or he'd say, "Come a-hopping, Joe Boy. Let's get it going." I tell you what, I never will forget it. God, I never will forget it. When Daddy was here, life was so different than what it is today. When I look around at the young people nowadays, and I can't help but feel sorry for the children. They don't have daddies that take them fishing and teach them how to shoot a .22 rifle, teach them all about gun safety, and teach them how to hunt squirrels and rabbits and how to clean them and how to survive if something happens bad, that they would be able to obtain food for their family. He taught me everything that I know about gardening. And I'm telling you, people, I miss my daddy. My daddy died in 1974 of lung cancer. The American Medical Association killed my daddy. They hit him with, I think it's 10 times radiation in the lung area, that you are not supposed to do it. It's illegal. You can ask a radiologist about it and they'll tell you, no. They did. My daddy's, both of his lungs burst, and my daddy died screaming. My daddy died a horrible death. But when my daddy was here, I was happy, I had a friend, someone I could talk to on the phone. We had dial phones back then. And my daddy was always there. If I had a problem, I could go talk to him and tell him, "Daddy, I don't know what to do about this. I don't know what to do about that." And when I met my wife-to-be, I went and talked to him and asked him his advice. I was a singer. I was in a band called the Oak Cliff Beats in Oak Cliff, Texas. And my lead guitarist and drummer got thrown into prison. They went off into drugs. They called me Bubblegum because I wouldn't take drugs. And we had recording contracts and everything set up. We were with Summit Sound Recording Studios, Dallas, Texas. We were fixing to go national, and they messed up royally. So I went to my dad and I asked him, "Dad, what do I do?" He said, "Son, go get a haircut, put that guitar down. He called it a guitar. And he said, get you a job. Well, I did what my daddy said. But I sure miss my dad. Oh, listen, he was the best friend that I ever had. My daddy was, oh, he was so special. Do you have these memories too of your childhood, of your dad? I remember I was real bad sick. I had chicken pox. And I think I was 4.5 years old. And my daddy come in there beside my bed and he had a big old huge stem of bananas. Have you ever seen them? Back in the 50s, they sold them at the vegetable stands. They only cost like, I think, $3 for a big old huge, about this long and that wide, loaded with bananas. It's how they grow on the banana trees. And my daddy stood beside my bed and said, hey, get you one of these bananas. And I got me a banana because he knew that, fruit would help me to get well. And he was just trying to help me. And he did everything he could. Here's my little baby, little Smoky girl, my little Precious. And she's been a good girl. I've been gone quite a bit today. And my neighbor, my friend Jerry, died. He had a bunch of pecan trees. And I'd go over there every year and get tons of pecans. I mean, hundreds of pounds of them. I'm serious. And I'd take them to work, give them to people and everything else. He was a wonderful man. And he died a horrible death. His doctor put him on blood pressure medication. They tried to do the same thing to me. They asked him, do I need this? Oh, no, but you're an elder, so we need to put you on this so that we can protect you. Well, he was suckered into it and he did it. Well, when he died, they tried to work his heart, and his heart was like a sponge. See, the AMA, American Medical Association, they know that these blood pressure medications cause the heart to become spongy and thin, but they're not telling people. And people don't read the side effects of these drugs they're taking. And they kept increasing his blood pressure medication every year. Well, Jerry's gone now, and Miss Barbara called me and said, hey, Hickory, get over here and get some of these pecans. And I did today, but here it is, the end of December. I hope these pecans are still good. She said they were. I sure wish she'd called me in November, but with Jerry dying and everything, she goes to the graveyard a lot. You can understand that. There's a lot of people like that they go to the grave daily and they cry and they pray and they stand there wringing their hands. But people, we've got to be strong and we have to move on. My wife died of cancer. We married 44 years and I cried for 5 years very hard. I cried all the time. My gallbladder had exploded. I had to go in the hospital, have surgery. My esophagus split, hung down inside me like this. I had to have surgery for that. I lost 53 pounds. I was on a liquid diet for 1.5 years. So, I understand when you lose a loved one. But friends, you've got to get up. The Lord God saith, gird up thy loins like a man, or like a woman, stand up and be strong is what he meant by that. And we have to. But Miss Barbara is not, she's going downhill. Her health is deteriorating. She is literally grieving herself to death. She really is. Pray for Miss Barbara. But I got the pecans, came back today, but when my daddy was alive, every day was so wonderful for me. My daddy died in 1974, August the 16th, 1974. They hit his lungs so hard that both of his lungs exploded in his chest, and my daddy died screaming. You've heard of people, you've probably known people yourself that have been put on radiation that it literally burned them alive and they died a horrible death. That's the American Medical Association, people, and I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy. Now, that's my opinion here now. That's my opinion from what I've been through with the death of my good wife. I'm asking you to hit the like button, help my channel to grow. And I'm asking you to subscribe to my channel. And I will see you on the next video. You people have a wonderful day. When my daddy was here.